This is One Piece chapter 1065, 6 Vegapunks. It's been 2 weeks since we had One Piece, and last we left off with One Piece, the Straw Hats are just kind of disembarking on the island of Egghead, where the genius scientist known as Vegapunk lives. We learned that he is basically 6 different people all at once. He seems to have divided his consciousness up between these 6 mecha people, these robot people, and we're getting to know all of them now. They seem to inhabit different parts of his personality or his being as a person. So that's been very excited. We've seen that there is pacifistas on this island in the shape of Bartholomew Kuma, who is the father of Jewelry Bonnie, one of the 11 supernovas. Yeah, that's so far all we've learned. We've met a couple of the Vegapunks. We know Lilith. We know what's the 5th one? The evil one? No, evil one is Lilith. Atlas is the 5th one, and
you have a great memory.
It literally just came back to me. I nearly lost it, but Atlas and Lilith.
I remember violence.
Yeah, and we have Shaka, who we haven't seen in full figure yet, but yeah, we've seen him around, and he seems to have ties to Dragon in some way or form. And now we open with this chapter. Zoro and Brook have stayed behind to guard the ship. We see that Caribou is there, and he's just like, they basically tell him to fuck off. It's like, get off our ship, and he's like, I said that I would like get off on the next island, but bro, this is a fucking government island. This is Fed Island here. Please don't leave me here. And honestly, one of my favorite panels of the chapter is Zoro looking at it. He's like, "Hey, you helped our captain in Wano. Thanks. Get off now." I thought it was like really fun.
Right. Would you rather get off at this island or die?
Yeah, I'll just.
That's
cut
the vibe
you, bro.
I was getting from Zoro.
Yeah, that's basically the vibe. We cut to the Straw Hats that are with Lilith. That'll be Nami, Usopp, Frankie, and Robin, and Sanji. And they're following him to the mainland of Vegapunk. I believe the Labo phase. It's what it's called. Oh, I said Frankie was with them, right? I may have left someone out. But anyway, so they go up this escalator. I guess escalators aren't really super common in the One Piece universe, so they're just kind of marveling at it. Lilith reveals that the island is pretty much like powered on fire. They're using like the various the conversion of fire into energy to basically as a natural resource, which is pretty cool. Lilith seems to walk directly through a gate without really it opening, and that's part of the technology as well. They just phase through it. They seem to have phased through a different door entirely, because by the time they pull through, Lilith is gone and has disappeared completely. I think that's what they're going for. Lilith either just kind of goes on ahead, or she's just not there with them. But yeah, as they're walking onward, they hear like an announcement from the Vegapunk Edison, who's just basically telling them to keep moving along onward. And as they continue into the lab, these big iron doors open, and behind the iron doors is the fucking Jinbei Seraphith. Pretty cool. The Jinbei Seraphim, sorry.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there, and these Seraphim obviously are of the war. They're like little warlord androids that are like in child form of previous warlords, plus seemingly with DNA of Lunarians, given the black wings and the fire behind them. But yeah, the Straw Hats obviously don't know about the Seraphim, so they're just like, "What? Is that Jinbei's son? What the hell? Did Jinbei get turned into a child?" And obviously the Seraphim is not very conversational. it immediately just starts firing off pacifista beams.
Ooh.
Ooh. uh, and yeah, the Straw Hats are
And
just
they have AoE splash damage too. I know
yeah.
you like that, Brian. I
uh,
know I'm speaking your lingo right now.
is that what is that
Yep,
lingo?
yep, I get it.
What's
I get it
AOE
now. Yeah,
splash
I
damage?
understand.
All right, so
Um,
essentially, instead of it being like, all right, so when you think of a beam, right, it's like this straight projectile.
Mm-hmm.
So you can only, you're limited in what you could target. But these beams are so deadly. Not only does it shoot in a straight beam, when it makes contact, it explodes, creating
Oh,
that splash damage
splash.
in
That's
the
cool.
area.
Uh,
AOE meaning attack on. What does that stand for? AOE, Brian?
area of effect.
Area of effect. I was about to say attack on entropy or something stupid.
yeah.
Attack on Titan.
Well,
Huh?
you learn something new every day.
Area of effect.
Area of effect. Speaking of splash, there, this Jinbei also seems to just dive into the water, and Frankie kind of recognizes that. He's like, "Wait a minute, I know that." And it is very reminiscent of Senor Pink's swim fruit powers from all the way back in Dressrosa.
Oh.
Remember, he just like dives into the floor and he swims wherever he wants. The Jinbei seems to be doing something similar. Uh, I don't know what that means, really. I don't know if they somehow killed uh, Senor Pink and transferred his powers into this Jinbei Seraphim, but it's familiar, as Frankie knows because he fought Senor Pink. That's why he's like, I know that power.
Oh, I didn't make the connection before.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, whoa. So yeah, the Jinbei Seraphim just jumps out of the water and just starts choking Nami out, pretty vicious, which just like activates Sanji immediately. You know what time it is. He just like uses his maximum like Diablo Jambe powers and kicks the shit out of the Jinbei Seraphim. Robin follows suit with her Gigante Fleur and just starts like smashing the ground where the Jinbei Seraphim landed. This Seraphim dodges and appears directly before Robin. Luckily, Usopp is there to do something for the first time in a long time.
Nice.
Usopp!
Nice.
um, But yeah, this Seraphim is also just like maneuvering and attacking the Straw Hats like as they attack him. Frankie starts shooting a beam, and that's when we get to see Edison the Thinker, the third, the number 3 Vegapunk, who's actually reacting to Frankie's beam like, "Whoa, he just shot a laser. Who is that guy?"
Pretty sick.
This fucking Seraphim isn't ready for laser tests yet. And he's like, he's just like thinking, he's like, about all this different stuff. Lilith is like, do you have any idea how much a single Seraphim costs? And this Edison's like, so evil. But then he just like gets hit with a wave of inspiration and he flies off to draw new plans. Meanwhile, he leaves Dr. Vegapunk Pythagoras the Wise to continue gathering battle data. This is the punk number 4. And we see that it's just like gathering the data. We see this punk 6 who is eating as Edison seems to demand that that punk 6 continues eating so he can keep like doing plans. Which is interesting. Does that mean that like if one like this one Vegapunk sustains all of them in that way, like if she eats, the rest of them eat?
And if she doesn't eat, they all are famished.
Yeah, I guess so. That's the implication here.
I'm famished.
But yeah, this Punk 6 continues to eat till her current body mass index is over 600. So Pythagoras is just like realizing that like the Seraphim's attack patterns evolve as they grow. Does that mean that bloodline elements record individuals' experiences? So I guess these Seraphim like keep the bloodline elements of whatever they are manifesting, whether they be, I guess, Jinbeis or the Lunarian DNA that they have. They guys, I guess they kind of retain that kind of stuff. But yeah, this little guy, this Pythagoras, is like a big robot, but it seems like it's just like a big mech suit for him, and he can just like pop out of it. It's 3 and 4 respectively, so they're like little twin brothers, I guess. And yeah, we see that they're still working. Atlas comes out of nowhere and uses digestion punch, which gives us the introduction of York the Greedy, which is the Punk 6 that's been eating this whole time for them. And
fun fact.
What?
When I read this for the first time, I thought those were 2 different characters.
Which one?
The one sleeping and the one eating.
Oh yeah, no, that's York.
The same person.
Mm-hmm.
Same number, same hair, goggles. Wow.
Yeah.
What was I looking at?
No, I mean, I guess it looks like we see like how they look like before, and we don't see them transform into this skinnier version of themselves. But yeah, the Vegapunks are all hard at work, and we cut back to where the remaining Straw Hats are, and we see that Dr. Vegapunk Shaka the Good, the Vegapunk number 1, pulls up and demands and orders the Seraphim to stop. And he introduces himself as Vegapunk, Dr. Vegapunk Shaka. And the Straw Hats are kind of stuck in place, and the reason being is that the shoes that they're wearing are under control of the laboratory's magnetic field, so they can essentially stick them to the ground whenever they want. So this was really funny. Like Usopp is like just confused. He's like, okay, so we met a woman Vegapunk and an announcer Vegapunk, and this guy's like, yes, I am also Vegapunk. And Usopp's just like, am I Vegapunk? That was a little fun moment for Usopp. But Frankie's pretty stoked. This is his cup of tea. Inventions and whatnot. He just wants to explore this island and see everything. He's like, I want to know what kind of tech you're packing. We don't gotta be enemies. And Shaka reveals something incredibly cryptic and crazy. He looks over to Frankie and he says, "This place is the past." Because like Frankie,
what?
Yeah, because Frankie refers to this place as like kind of the super future. And we get like a little intercut with Luffy, Chopper, Bonnie, and Jinbei, just like finding something. And Luffy and Chopper are like, "Whoa, this shit is cool! I wanna ride it. I wanna ride this thing." And we cut back to Shaka as he's like talking over this little scene that they're having. Frankie's like, "What do you mean the past?" And he's like, "If I told you that Egghead wasn't the only one, that there was once a kingdom just as highly advanced as this that actually existed 900 years ago, would you believe me?" As we see a big panel of this like fallen giant robot warrior that is just like laid up in this like seems like a trash heap. Yeah, crazy chapter overall. That is where this chapter ends. Lots to discuss. The introductions of the Vegapunk, the continuing Vegapunks. We see that apparently we're getting into the Void Century. But Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1065?
What did I think? Let me tell you this. There's a lot of series on the plate. But because I had a really hard decision with all of them, there's one clear answer, and that's One Piece being the best chapter this week.
Oh,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it is for me as well. Brian, where do you stand? It's not yours yet?
Yeah, it's my RGC.
Oh, you know what? Based on the poll as well, Our YouTube poll.
Harmonic
This
convergence.
is a harmonic convergence, really good chapter of the week. I gotta find the line, but it's a long drop. I went a little indulgent on it, but
Is this real fucking life?
yeah, based on our YouTube poll, we have One Piece won 50% of the vote. It is all of our collective really good chapters of the week. So, we gotta do it. This is a long drop, guys.
We have gathered today in celebration. Rejoice, my friends, for this is the Harmonic RGC.
Let's go, Brian. Connect with the spirits. We're all one in convergence. Together and believing this was the greatest chapter of this week. Because it is from Oda's hands directly to our hearts and minds. We are blessed every time he drops a chapter. Facts, no fiction.
I hope we don't get copyright stricken for this.
It's worth it. Yeah,
I didn't think about it.
Nah, listen. All bullshit aside, there's one reason, and one reason only, this is the best chapter of the week. And that's because of that. The lore. Oh boy. When Oda drops some lore, it's like on my birthday every year, my grandmother, well, most years, my grandmother makes something called magic cookies, right? And they're very special. They're really special.
How
They make
so?
me happy. And so, it's rare. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it's wonderful. It's wonderful for me, and that's exactly how I feel about One Piece lore. If you notice, for those that are just listening, I have a paper that says lore, and it's written in giant letters.
It is very
because I want you guys,
impressive.
right. But there's a reason for the giant letters, and that's because at the end of the day, giants was in the past. You heard me, guys. Giants are in the past. It was all giants. Smart people were giants. People on boats were giants. The animals were giants.
It was giants.
Yes. Your favorite character was a giant. I'm pretty sure Nika the Sun God was. He was a giant and was 9 times out of 10 also the sun. But that's neither here nor there. I guess we'll figure that out eventually. I thought it was cool that they ran into the pacifista. I thought it was a nice little. I like the fact that Oda put Jinbei young in a previous chapter, just to see I guess so it's like realistic. So we weren't confused at all about who it was or what's going on. Like these are clearly younger versions of the warlords. I feel like it cleared that up. But something else really jumped out to me. And that was when they showed Robin doing her attack, that Gigante floor thing, right? Before when she used it, it was like all black and it looked like a demon. This time she used it and it was just plain.
Oh yeah, that's like she's done it before, where she's brought to a bigger version of herself. Like the demon thing.
Wasn't that just her special ability? Like, didn't she just pull that ability out?
No, not that one. She's done that one before, but like her demon thing is like an expansion of that ability. Like there's horns and everything on that one. It's a stronger version of that power. Like she's kind of pushing it a little more with the demon child one.
Yeah, she really leveled up. Okay. So is that hockey?
Maybe. I don't know what really
Maybe.
differentiates the demon child from. I think with this one, it's like kind of a more stationary version of it, where I think like her demon child one can actually move from like the spot it's in, and actually wrestle shit itself.
Well, Anyway, Giants. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this. So I'm done.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah,
you
Brian,
have
what
any
did you
thoughts?
think?
So there was a lot of uproar in the community, not like bad or uproar, like a lot of hoopla. Everybody's kind of going crazy about the reveal in the end here, and there were a few theories.
Theory time. Lore. Lore.
So-
what is it good for?
So there's a theory that all devil fruits were created by the ancient government. So essentially, Vegapunk was just trying to. Oh Jesus, my camera.
Yeah, it's all right.
So apparently, Vegapunk was trying to recreate all. Like, all right, so Vegapunk was trying to recreate all of the ancient kingdom's technologies since they were so far advanced, right? And the smile fruits and stuff like that were a product of him trying to create devil fruits like the ancient kingdom did, but he failed. And Mononosuke's dragon fruit being the only thing that the only copy that he actually perfectly replicated until the seraphim. So the seraphim is essentially like proof that he perfected recreating devil fruits, essentially.
That makes sense.
So that's the theory.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we know that already. Like that, Vegapunk is very tied to the Devil Fruit lore in general, seeing as how he seems to know their true nature in general. So, I'm excited to see more. You got any?
We're gonna get a lot of knowledge bombs here too, because Vegapunk, if all this technology comes from the ancient kingdom, that means he must have a lot of knowledge of the ancient kingdom. So we're probably gonna learn a lot about that soon.
Nice.
Also, Shaka, I love his fucking character design. It looks so fucking dope.
It's like Daft Punk.
Yeah, that's
Daft
exactly what I
Punk
was
with
gonna
the
say.
fucking coat. He looking sick and shit. Like
Marshmallow.
Also, I have an idea that I haven't seen anybody talk about, where I think Shaka they cover up Shaka's face because I think he's actually a fish.
You think he's a fish man?
I think he's not a fish man, just a fish in a bowl, because that's Oda's thing, right?
Yeah, that's his like.
That's Oda's.
Well,
What?
Oda's. You know, at the beginning of all the volumes, there's like a little, like artists depict themselves as certain things. Like Daisuke Ashihara, Daisuke from World Trigger, he likes to draw himself as a cat. Tagashi likes to draw himself as a dog. So you know and Oda has himself with a fish head. It would be genuinely surprising if that was just foreshadowing the whole time.
Yeah, foreshadowing of Vegapunk the entire time.
It can't be that deep. I can't.
It can't be, but what if it was?
Then you know, a lot of people are getting sick of a bunch of folks being like, Oda foreshadows everything. This would be pretty much, we can't deny that Oda foreshadows everything, if that's the case.
Eris would lose their fucking mind.
Yeah, this whole time. But I would go crazy. I'd go a little crazy if he was just a fish for a head.
Lore.
Lore.
Yeah,
Lord.
those are my thoughts. I thought Baby Jinbei was adorable, even though he's fucking up people.
Baby Jinbei is adorable.
You liked him beating up Nami?
No,
Yeah.
but I thought he was adorable.
that how
Him
you
and
felt?
Baby Kuma. Baby Kuma is also adorable.
Yeah.
There was a baby Kuma?
Yeah. The
Oh,
one
yeah,
that,
earlier.
With the CP9. I mean,
Yeah,
CP0.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this was my favorite chapter of the week. But it was really cool to see all this shit with the Seraphim Jinbei. That swim fruit ability, I'm very interested in how that was possible, because two people can have the same fruit. So that means either somehow Vegapunk was able to replicate the fruit using science, or the government, after Dressrosa managed to arrest all of Doflamingo's crew from Dressrosa and I guess execute them so that they can use their powers somehow. But yeah, definitely eerie. The Seraphim ain't nothing to fuck with. Pretty excited to see where that goes. It was cool seeing the other Vegapunks. We're getting introduced to them in a little quick of a fashion. We've met what 6 of them already. We met Shaka, Lilith, Pythagoras, and what's his face, Edison, and Atlas. So that's like 5, I guess. So I'm excited to see. There's like one more, right? Shaka. Yeah, I guess we met all of them. We've met all the Vegapunks.
Is the real Vegapunk.
Yeah, besides the real one, obviously. But yeah, it was cool seeing them and seeing how they kind of operate together. Pythagoras and Edison seem very similar in the way they work. I guess the difference here between like the thinker and the wise is that, Edison represents the innovative mind of Vegapunk that's always like making shit and is the source of all of like just the raw ideas for inventions. And Pythagoras is just like the absorber of data that allows for this this inspiration to take place. But yeah, I really enjoyed this chapter, seeing how it all goes. Every time Shaka pulls up onto the screen, he's always got some shit to drop, whether it's the connection with Dragon or this fucking Void Sentry lore that we're about to get.
Void Sentry are full of giants.
Yeah, I don't know if it's giants necessarily, because the giants still exist.
Yeah, they're ancestors. That's why the world government hates them.
That's true. I mean, maybe the giants do have something to do with this, and this is their jumping off points to get to Elbaf.
So it should be an Elbaf setup chapter.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, arc.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get the whole story of the Void
Brian
Sentry.
was on the mark.
Yeah, right on the mark. I don't think we're gonna get a whole backstory for the Void Sentry just yet. I feel like that's a bigger idea that Oda is gonna tackle down the line. But it would be cool to get some fucking tidbits about it. I'd be here for that. But outside of that, I don't really have thoughts. I thought this was just like a fun chapter to read overall. Lots of action. Some lore drops. Very excited about that. But yeah, I don't got much else to say. You guys have any rebuttals? Anything like that?
Nopers.
All right. Well, that was One Piece. Please let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And we'd love to respond and have a conversation with you guys.